Alright guys, today we're doing a spring on a Ford Fiesta. Yeah, it's the bottom end of the coil that snapped. Basically going to take the strut off, change the spring out of it. Got a new spring already, so yeah, let's get cracking. First things first, there's a 10mm nut on this one. Get the brake pipe out the way first. That's that. The drop links are 17. The head of the bolt that goes through there is a 15 on the one side and an 18. Yeah, and an 18 on that side. Crack them off with the breaker bar first. Crack them both off first. Yeah. So remove the ABS sensor from the side of it. You don't want to get that snagged or anything. Right. Hopefully. There we go. Let's see the other one out. And this one you have got to be careful that the drive shaft doesn't come out as well, because otherwise you'll have gearbox oil everywhere and it is not fun at all. Because if the hub pulls too far away, if you can see it down here, the drive shaft pulls out the gearbox and you have gearbox oil everywhere, and it's not fun trying to fill them back up either. Trust me, I know from experience. Right, that's that. Stay. Now, just the anti-roll bar link has got to come off. If you're having trouble with your anti-roll bar links, basically, and do it as much as you can. Be careful of the rubber. All you do, there's a metal collar on the back of them. Obviously, try not to split the rubber at all. You don't want to be doing that. Otherwise, you'll be replacing the link. It just adds a job on the list, doesn't it? So, get the right tension on the mole grips. Oh. There we go. And then, hopefully, there we go. That's the roll bar link off. No, the rubber is okay, sorted. Right, so that's that. Right, next job is up top. I'm going to take the 3 top mount bolts out. Got 3 top mount bolts. Nuts, should I say. You can just about get to all 3. I'm using a 13mm ratchet spanner. Okay, drop it. Try not to drop the bolt like I nearly have, like 3 or 4 times. There we go. Aha! Gotcha. Right, that's the back one out, so that's the hardest one. Always try and do the hardest one first. The 2 front ones we can get to with a shallow socket and a ratchet, which makes it a bit easier to get to. God, inconsiderate neighbours. Bidding while I'm recording. Before you get the last one all the way off, and the third one, you need to make sure you grab the strut so it doesn't fall out. If you're doing this on your own, and there we go. Oh, there we go, one strut. As you can see, the spring has snapped. The bit has, because obviously it should be sitting down here. It should coil around here, this bit. Now for my most favourite bit ever, spring compressors. Yay. You don't know fear until you've used spring compressors. We have spring compressors. If you've never used these before, be very careful. compressors, they like to slip. I will show you in a second once I've got both on. Basically, as you're tightening them up, they like to slip around the spring. So this one will more likely try and slip around the other way. So let's hope it doesn't. So far so good. Right, that's enough. Once you've got your spring compressors on and there's enough tension in the spring to be, so basically it's all loose like that. It's an 18mm on the top, and obviously when you're clamping your shock, I always use a pair of mile grips around the shock so you don't damage anything. Like that. Hey. Take the top mount out. And rubber off. And that's one shock out. Right, one new spring. We need the spring compressors off that. And that's how it slips. Once it's slipped, it won't slip again. There we go. Right, I'm going to make sure we've got the spring on the right way, because I think it is slightly different. That's the correct way. So that was the bottom, obviously the bottom snapped off. So I'm going to make sure the spring sits in the groove, and make sure it locates up to this point here. So you just twist the spring around, get it sitting there, and that's where we're at. Get the spring compressors on first though. Now we've got the spring compressors in place, get the rubber back on. Obviously, just to make sure the spring compressor didn't slip, just put a pair of mile grips on the spring just to stop it slipping round as I was tightening up. Get the top mount back on as well. Just got to make sure the spring, obviously, see it's a bit far away at the moment, I'll try and twist it round to get it in place. Not quite, nearly there, but that's about to slip round, that is. Got it? So needs to go a bit more. Make sure the spring's sitting okay, and we're good, all sorted. Right, let's get it back on the car. Let's get the strut back in. There we go. Right, that's all three top mount bolts tight. Yeah, I'll leave in the light, so we're going to try and hurry up. Can you keep up with me, Jace?
Yeah, well.
You sure?
What do you mean?
My hands are going to be a blur. You're not that fast. There we go. There's one in. There's the other one. There's two in. Get the nuts back on. 18mm on the one side, 15mm on the other side. One. Got the gun. Give them a tweak with the breaker bar. There we go. Get the brake part back on. There's that side. Like that. Get the 10mm bolt. That's that back on. The brake part's back on. Right, all that's left to do now is get the anti-roll bar link back on. Get your clamp on the back, obviously remembering try not to clamp the rubber. That was my finger. Ow. And it's a 17, I think. Yep, 17mm. Get the ABS sensor back in. That one there. That one there. And we're done. Easy as that. Right guys, we are done. She's back on the ground now. All sorted. Front spring on a Ford Fiesta.
That's my ex-girlfriend.
You are?
That's my ex-girlfriend beeping.
Start to finish probably took us about not even an hour. It was quite an easy job to do. As long as you got all the right tools, obviously. But yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.